Are you the type to skip an intro or ending song when watching an anime, or are you the type to watch it all the way through and watch it every time? I think with the frequency in watching intros and outros of all the animes that you watch, you'll come to notice something very interesting. There are actually a lot of anime out there that put hints and perhaps sometimes spoilers in the intros and the ending songs, more so than you actually know. One anime that's really famous for this is Bleach. So we're going to dive into actually 1,000-Year Blood War opening and ending songs and the hints and potential things that you may have missed while watching it or not watching it. I shall caution that what I'm about to reveal will definitely include some spoilers if you're not caught up on the first part of 1,000-Year Blood War, or if you haven't read the manga. Alright, so there are about 5 to 6 things in the opening song that you may or may not have noticed if you're a non-manga reader, or if you're not caught up on 1,000-Year Blood War. In a scene in which Ichigo shakes hands with his hollow in a field of Zanpakutos, you may think that this is just a means of them agreeing to collaborate a little bit more effectively and his hollow to stop trying taking over his body. Obviously, we're over that plot point after, Hueco Mundo. But essentially what that's telling us, with some additional scenes to give us context, is 1. With Ichigo in a field of Zanpakutos shaking the hands of his hollow, or perhaps helping him up off the ground, is that Ichigo has come to realize that his real Zanpakuto is actually his hollow. And in the scenes to follow, we see old man Zangetsu, the man with the glasses and the long wavy hair, who we've always known to be Zangetsu since like the beginning of Bleach, is not actually his Zanpakuto's form. And right after we get old man Zangetsu, we get to see Yuhawa. Yuhawa is essentially the king of the Quincy's. Maybe he's the queen too, whatever. And being that they're shown back to back, if you go back and look at old man Zangetsu and then look at Yuhawa again, they actually look quite alike. This is essentially to show that Zangetsu, the old man form, looks like Yuhawa, because this alludes to or connects Ichigo to his Quincy abilities, which you find out in like episode 10 or 11 of 1,000-Year Blood War, because Ichigo's mom was a Quincy. In the scenes in which you see the Soul Reapers fighting the Vandenreich, I think that's how you pronounce it, someone please catch me. In those scenes, these essentially, showed the actual matchups that happen in the first core, essentially the first 13 episodes of 1,000-Year Blood War. Not essentially a spoiler, but it kind of gives you an indication as to what's going to happen within the first core of 1,000-Year Blood War. A very blatant spoiler is when we get a full shot of all the Vandenreich, and we see Uryu at the very front. So it's like, okay, Uryu was not going with Ichigo to Hueco Mundo to help him out, because of the hollows and yada yada. But we haven't seen him like the whole first part of 1,000-Year Blood War. And it's like, you can't be counting Uryu out of this entire thing. So essentially, big spoiler alert, Uryu is joining the Vandenreich because he's a Quincy and he has to ally himself with his own kind. There's a really brief scene that you may miss because it's only 1 to 2 seconds long of Squad Zero. While we've already been introduced to Squad Zero at this point in the anime, it is noted that this opening has been running since the very first episode, so you wouldn't really notice that there's Squad Zero or that there are a bunch of Soul Reapers that protect the Soul King. But essentially, if you freeze frame and take a look at them, there's one particular Soul Reaper of the Royal Guard squad that doesn't appear as she initially does when she's first introduced in the anime, and that's Hikefune. We see her a little bit more plus size and round, to the point that Shinji says that he doesn't recognize her. And that's due to her abilities. Essentially, we get to see her true form in the opening song if you take a quick look. And last but not least, at the very end, before like the intro ends, you get a view of someone walking through, essentially some flowers holding 2 different Zanpakutos. You're probably not familiar with these Zanpakutos if you're not reading the manga or haven't read the manga, but these Zanpakutos actually belong to Ichigo, or rather I should say Zanpakuto because it's just one, right? Yeah. So it's Ichigo's Zanpakuto. More specifically, it's his true Bankai form. So the Bankai form that you all have been seeing up until this point is the falsification just in the same manner of Old Man Zanketsu is the false image of his Zanpakuto. The ending song of Thousand Year Blood War is not riddled with spoilers or hints like the opening song, but there may be some things that you missed in watching it. As you notice, they display a bunch of Zanpakutos in the first few scenes. And as you see these Zanpakutos, some are pretty obvious to see, while others may be unclear. I'm gonna run through that list and kind of just help you visualize which ones are which and which ones belong to whom, in case you've forgotten, because you know, Bleach is full of tons of characters and tons of Zanpakutos, and it's really easy to forget them all. Starting with Soifon Suzumebache of Squad 2. Then we've got Shunsui Kyoraku's Katen Kyotsu of Squad 8. Then we've got Rojuro Otoribashi Kin Sahara of Squad 3. Next we've got Jushiro Ukitake Kogyo no Kotowari of Squad 13. Next is a lot of people's favorites, Kenpachi Zaraki's Zanpakuto. We don't have a name for it in the manga yet, in the anime yet, but we will get a name much later, so I'm gonna withhold that for now. And he's of Squad 11. Then we've got Retsu Unohana Minazuki's. And essentially, if you note here, Zaraki and Unohana's blades are crossed, alluding to the battle that they have. And she is the captain of Squad 4. Kenshi Muguruma Tachikaze of Squad 9. Then we've got Yamamoto, the head captain of essentially Squad 1, and the overall court guard squads, Ryujin Jaka. Next, we've got the mad scientist, Mayuri Kurotsuchi Ashisogi Jizo of Squad 12. A lot of people's sarcastic favorite, Shinji Hirako, and it displays his Sakanade, and he leads Squad 5. Most people's favorite, or a lot of people's favorite, is Byakuya Kuchigi's Senbon Sakura. I think everyone knows the name of his Zanpakuto, and he leads Squad 6. One that left me a little bit confused and had me like digging up old anime episodes and images is Toshiro Isugaya's Hyorimaru. In the beginning of the animes, and I think manga, you see that Hyorimaru has a sickle at the end at times. It stops getting used at some point, so yeah, a lot of people were confused about that, and here we go, he leads Squad 10. Last, but sadly kind of least, Sanjin Komamura and his Zanpakuto Tenken. He leads Squad 7, and honestly, I had completely forgot about him entirely because, you know, he's not a very notable character much in the series. So those are all the different Zanpakutos that are displayed. So some you may have noticed right away, others you kind of had to do some searching on. So hopefully I enlightened you on some stuff that you may have missed on the opening and ending songs. And if you don't watch opening and ending songs, hopefully I've convinced you as to why you should watch opening and ending songs. This is one video and hopefully a long series that I'll be creating, because even though Bleach and Thousand Year Blood War is very notorious for doing this, we could go back to like every single Bleach opening and ending song to see like everything essentially that they spoiled for us that you didn't notice until it was done. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you like the content that I talked about today, please like, subscribe, or share in any way possible. I'd greatly appreciate it. Until next time, I'm Mel, your friendly millennial, here to help guide you through the universe of anime and manga. I'll catch you next time. Bye!